got a little errand to do. I thought I'd combine my little errand with this video. But I'm headed to the museum because I work in museum on Saturdays, and I invite people to come by and meet me and Dottie. Any listeners that are in the area, listeners or viewers, I guess. Some people listen. Anyway, I got a phone call on Sunday from my good friend Agnes, who works at the museum and does Sundays, and I believe Fridays too at this point. And she said, "Hey, you've got a present here. One of your viewers came by and left you a present and a note." So I said, "Well, I'll go by first thing in the morning and I'll grab that, and I'll I'll bring you with me, and I'll go in there and grab it, and we'll see what we got." Beautiful day, and what is it? It's the 11th of August 2025. Oh, and I got good news today. I forgot to talk about the good news. My reservation in Quartzsite in the RV park. I'm going to be in Arizona Sun RV Park, and I came up on the wait list. And hello, I came up on the wait list, and I have my reservation. Yay! I will be there from December 1st through February 28th. And I don't see a lot of sense in, I keep my home base pretty secret about where exactly that is, but in Quartzsite, I don't really hide where I'm camping and where I am. Like when I'm boondocking, people figure it out pretty quickly. And I could try to keep it secret, but just here's the thing. Here, this is a very easy thing. Is I don't have any problem out and about. You see me, stop me. I'm happy to chat with you, introduce you to Dottie, give you stickers, whatever I can do. I am thrilled to meet you, all of you. But please do not track down where I am and knock on my door. That's just not okay. And my friend, and I'll tell you, and it's not just because it's YouTube, my friends know not to do that. One of the reasons is, hang on. Oh, here we go. Here it is. I know what it is. And you know what? That is so sweet what this woman has done here. Hang on. I thought it would automatically lock. It doesn't. I have to relock it. And this is someone. Oh, it's still not locked. Let's turn it this way. There. It looks like my name is Celine. I watch your YouTube channel. I'm a prior paramedic and motorcyclist. I was a paramedic too, if you haven't caught on to that. Every time I see you riding your bike, the hair on my neck stands up. Please wear so people can see you as well as you think. Thanks. Thanks for the dedication to your channel. I'm enjoying the content. She gave me a nice little vest. Isn't that sweet? That's so sweet. So it's hard to tell when you're just watching the videos. I have to open this up and fold it to get it in my little pack there. So I have to get it out and fold it. I'll make her happy. You know what? I'll put it on right now. How's that? I do have one of these in the car. And, oh, it's a really nice one with a zipper on the front and everything. This is not a bad idea. So people give me a hard time about a helmet. And I do have a helmet, but I don't wear it here in Eagle Nest. And I will tell you I'll explain myself a little bit as much as I feel that I need to. It's hard to tell. And I'm going to give you a little tour through Eagle Nest. So again, if you're here for what was on the thumbnail, please skip ahead. And I'll put the timestamp again right here where it starts. It's a very short distance into Eagle Nest from where I'm staying. It is a highway. I'm very vigilant about paying attention to traffic when I'm on my way in, but it's about an eighth of a mile where there's any risk at all. And once I'm in town, the traffic's going about 15 or 20. I'm going maybe 10 or 15, and I'm just not traveling around. Now, when I'm in Quartzsite and I'm going through the desert and things like that and going through town with a lot of traffic, I wear a helmet. And it's not a bad idea to wear one of these as well. But I don't wear a helmet here in Eagle Nest for these short little jaunts, but I do on longer trips and trips where there's a lot more risk. That said, and people, I get comments about the helmet, and I have a filter that just won't. If you talk about a head covering or helmet or stuffing like that, my the YouTube channel will catch that comment and isolate it, and it'll never see the light of day. Because it's just not advice that I'm interested in. But the vest was a nice idea, and I bet she probably bit her tongue a little bit on the helmet because she's a paramedic, and I was a paramedic, and I had bicycle fatalities, several. Um, but look at it this way: how many of you my age, 65 or so, had a helmet on when you were a kid riding your bike around the neighborhood? Or have you ever heard of a kid? Did you know a kid that wore a helmet? I'm going to say no, you didn't, because nobody did. And were there bicycle crashes? Heck yeah. Now, I'm sure there were crashes where there were terrible head injuries and people died and all kinds of stuff, but not in my neighborhood. Nobody I knew. But these days, as we're passing right here, everybody okay? All right, it just looked like maybe a little accident. Oh, okay. So everybody these days is much safer. So I realize I'm taking a risk, but it's my risk to take. But thank you for the vest. And I'm going to go in here. Now, I'm not going to film in here because I already did, and I did a special video for them promoting their hot foods. And I'm going to get some hot food, and I'll be right back. So for $3, got a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. And let me tell you, this stuff is good. Check it out. Check that out. Oh my. So I'm very excited. I was wait, I was first when I signed up on the wait list for that Arizona Sun RV park, I was number 2 on the wait list, and I kicked myself because a few days before I left, I called and I expressed an interest, and they said, "Well, you better get out here and get it because I only have a couple spots left. I'll be out there in a couple days." And 2 days later, those spots were gone, and I was number 2 on the wait list, and I was number 2 on the wait list from them, which was April, right up until now. So I finally got in for December, January, and February, and I believe it's $1,400 for those 3 months. So what's that? 1,400. Let's clear 1,400 divided by 3, so that's $466 per month. It's one of the nicer RV parks there, and I'm gonna have an electric bill too, but it'll be low because I'm gonna use mostly solar, and rarely in those months, December, January, and February, are you gonna have any temptation to use AC. Mm, that's so good. Another project I've been working on today is I have a I've got a regular laptop that I use for all my work, and I have a backup laptop because if you're gonna if you're gonna earn any kind of living with a computer, you need to have a backup computer in case one breaks down. And I want to show you this computer that I'm going to talk about here. I'm trying to get it up here without the phone guessing what I want to say. This is my computer that I got in 2013. So that's what, 12 years ago. It's an Alienware M14 XR2, who is like an amazing gaming laptop back then, and it was very expensive. So it's a little bit outdated, and it needs to be taken apart, cleaned, and there's a thing called repasting where there's on the CPU and the GPU, I'm getting technical, I know, but there's paste inside there that helps dissipate heat, and that paste dries up, and certainly it's pretty dried up after 12 years. And there's some skill that I might possess, but don't have the desire to do all this. And also I want to do some upgrades. I'm looking to see if it's got an upgradable CPU. So I bought a CPU that's being mailed to me, and there's a plastic piece on the back that's broken, and I found a replacement part for that. And so I'm going to take all that and I'm going to send it into this guy I follow on YouTube. I'm going to look him up too. So every truck in Eagle Nest is driving in here right now. It's called the Dell Parts People, and it's parts-people.com. And it's a guy that does like soldering. He gets a microscope and he repairs the motherboards and stuff. He's amazing. But he does Dells exclusively, and Alienware is a Dell product. It has been since like 2007. And he's got all Dell parts, and you can mail him your laptop or PC, and he will work on it, charges reasonable prices. But that's what I'm going to do. After I get all these parts, I'm going to ship everything to him and have him completely redo it. And I bet it'll cost somewhere, if I add everything together, probably around $500, $600 total with the CPU I'm buying. And I'll ask him too, are there any other upgrade that are reasonably priced? Did you think I should have different memory or a faster SSD storage device? I'll have him do that too. So everything added together, it'd be, could I get for $500 or $600 or a little bit more, a much better, faster, newer, different PC? Yeah, I probably could. But this has sentimental value. I love it. I don't want to let it go. And I want to make it last another. It'd be amazing if it could last another. So I had just gotten a notice that on the camera, have to stop recording. You're out of storage space. And I realized of all the videos I've done since I bought this neat little camera, I haven't deleted anything. So I deleted all the old stuff. So we should be good for a while. Let me tell you something. A robust, marvelous tasting breakfast for $3.30. Tell me how you go wrong with that. That is value, quality, Rockies market here in Eagle Nest. So the only thing that would be better than this, I would guess, is my friend Frugal RV Gal. Check out her channel. She's an amazing, I say cook, but more like a chef. And she does things very frugally and shows you where to buy stuff, how to save money, and more importantly, how to make delicious food. This is amazing. She could do better for less than $3, I guarantee it. Not saying something because this is amazing. Look at that. You know what? I think I'm going to do 2 videos. I'll have to edit the front of this one where I talk about, oh, this video doesn't match. What's doing? Damn near. This video doesn't match the thumbnail in one. And I was saying, if you're anxious to find out what I really meant on the point of the thumbnail and the title, what I'm going to do is put the timestamp so you can skip ahead. But I'm just going to do a separate video for that. So depending on how good job I did editing, that may mean nothing to you because you're like, what are you talking about? You didn't say anything about that. That's because I cut it out. So this is how I roll on Travels with Dottie. Is I'm going to try to put this up higher, see what it looks like. This is how I roll on Travels with Dottie. No planning. I just shoot as I go. Laguna Vista Lodge, we're passing here. I don't know whether you're seeing me or seeing the front, depending on what I do in editing, but either way, you'll see it. And here's the saloon is up on this boardwalk here on the right. And it's part of this full complex of Laguna Vista. It's the saloon. And I went in there Saturday after working at the museum. I was really hungry. What I did was I got up Saturday and I was so busy trying to get my videos out and doing my sessions. I forgot to eat, and I was gonna say, "Oh, I'll take a frozen dinner with me to the museum," and I forgot to do that. And let me tell you something, there's not so much as a cookie in that museum, so I went the entire day without eating, and I was hungry. So Dottie and I went down there on the way home, and I went into the bar, and I ordered one of their giant, lovely cheeseburgers with onion rings, and let me adjust my rearview mirror. And it was amazing. And I cut it in half because I knew I wouldn't be able to eat the whole thing. And the next day, I went last night to eat the other half, and I still have not completed the other half. Now, what's left now is about a quarter of it that'll probably be given to Dottie tonight. But that was 2 meals. It was really good. There's dogs barking, saying hello. Hey, dogs. Dogs are saying hello to me. The museum. Hopefully, Rob, if you're not pushing forward here, you should have been. That cute little stone house on the right, that owner's been working on that for way over a year now. It's for sale. I bet it's way more. They're asking for way more money than I have. Now, here's something that's interesting. This little place here used to be a pizza place. And the last I heard, a guy was renovating it and reopening it as a coffee shop. And I'm looking in there, and that's not going to be this year. I've looked in there. Doesn't look like there's any meaningful stuff going on now. Just completed my second month here in Eagle Nest, and I went in and paid for my my camping and my electric, and I was very. We're gonna pull over here. We're good. Told you I'm vigilant. And my electric bill was $16 for the month. So pretty good. I could have used solar a little bit more, but I decided to use a little bit more electric. The other month it was $8. So I learned something today. And this wasn't in an RV, but it's very typical of RV repair stuff. The Marty Weathers here at Weathers RV Park treats me so well that I wanted to give back to her. And one of the ways I give back is because she's allowing me to park next to the RV park in that open field, and she runs an electric line out to me. And please don't come here and ask her to do the same for you. This is a special arrangement I have, so please don't say I want the deal Rob has. But in appreciation for that, I clean the bathrooms because it's pretty close to the bathrooms, and I use it certainly every day. And so I clean them. It's an easy job. It just takes a few minutes because most people have full hookups and they don't use them, but there are a few campers. Here's the lesson I learned today. When I left, I go to close the door and I hear a clank, and I'm like, what was that? And looking, the doorknob fell off on the floor. I'm like, how the hell did that happen? So I'm going to stop here and finish this video up, because if I keep going, I'll go over bumpy ground and you'll be very distracted by the bumpiness. Even the stabilization doesn't seem to help that much. Actually, hang on. Here we go. So you get to see the lake behind me where I stay. So I look at it and I'm trying to figure out what broke or why it fell off. And those of you that are experts of this stuff are probably already laughing at me. But there's two long screws that holds the whole assembly together. And I kept trying to put it back together and I'd put the screw in, but it wasn't, it's hard to explain. It wasn't working. And the reason it wasn't working is after almost an hour of trial and error, and then having someone come help me because I needed a third set of hands, I realized that you put the exterior knob in, and then you put the screws in partially, and then you take the internal knob and line it up with the screws. And when it goes in each of the respective holes, there's a place where you can twist a little bit and it'll hold that in there. And should those screws come loose, that's when it'll fall off. And that's obviously what happened. But all it took was assembling it, putting those screws in so they're sticking out, lining everything up, putting the screws in the holes, rotating it a little bit so it fits, the screws fit in that groove that holds them in, and then screw in both things. Easy peasy. Easy peasy after an hour. But next time this happens to me, I'll know. And I tell you, RV life, when you've got your mobile home, your home on wheels going through a level 8 earthquake every time you move, you're going to have stuff like that happen, even though this didn't happen in an RV, but stuff gets loose and it falls apart. And you got to figure out, usually by yourself, how to put these things back together. And almost every time where it seems like, oh, this would be a simple thing, it often isn't. But let me tell you when it does get simple. Here's when that happens to me again in my life, and I see a knob hanging on the floor, I'll go, I know exactly how to fix this, and I'll do it in less than 5 minutes instead of an hour. And there are things in my RV like that, that because I've done so much that I need to really know. Here's a good example. I had my hot water heater on gas to take a shower, and it was firing up and cutting off and firing up and cutting off. And I knew to go out there, open up the panel, and I said, I bet I know there's a wire sensor that goes from the control panel to the flame, and it detects when it's burning. And I bet you that's loose. And you know what? That's exactly what it was. That I went out, it was came a little bit unseated. I pushed it back in there real tight, and it fixed the problem. All right, when I first got my RV, that probably would have been a call to a mobile RV tech, and it probably would have cost me $150 in 4 days to get my hot water. Instead of, it was about 30 seconds. So that's how it works. The longer you're in this and the more curious you are and the more you try things, and even there's no shame in having to call for help. But when you do call for help, say, can I watch and can you explain to me how you're doing it? You'll learn that way too. And probably in a better way than the trial and error stuff that I went through. But thanks for joining me today in beautiful Eagle Nest, New Mexico. The lake is like glass out there. It's so beautiful. And look at all these mountains. And we're surrounded. Check this out. 360 degrees. Good thing I have a 360-degree camera, huh? And going to be a little blip as I go by the side. But look, everywhere I'm walking, we have mountains. Isn't that amazing? And we're at 8,300 feet. 8,300 feet. Here's another little blip as I go by the side of the camera. I could take those. You know what a lazy editor I am. I'm right back to the beginning, surrounded by beautiful mountains. Isn't that great? Eagle Nest, New Mexico, far north New Mexico, 30 miles that way. If I were a crow and started flying, I'd be in Colorado. Thanks for watching Rob, me, Travels with Dottie, and I'll see you tomorrow for another one.